Trevor and Barack. When I went and Mish, when I went to go see my mother at her job, and she took me shopping and bought me the dresses that I wore. Uh, I went to an Indian store where I bought the white dress from, and then I think this is the reason why Kamala Harris placed it here. This dress here, I bought this. She bought me this dress, a blue and gold one, and a white and I guess you kente cloth one that I wore to the studio when I had went on the day that I had the ticket. And I'm just able to realize when I toss the lighter, this red lighter, and because of my hand, and then it emulates sound, and that placement, same thing as the bottle, that you understood what that meant. I didn't know what that when I looked at the dude's eyes, he was scared. So he tossed a bottle cap at my feet. He was sitting down, hunched like this, and he tossed a bottle cap at my feet. But he looked at my face in fear. Like, that was the only way he knew to say, because what he's used to but that was the only way he knew to admit, if you will. But he threw it at my feet. When I looked at his eyes, I understood. So I didn't take it as a threat. It wasn't taken as a threat. So somebody else can compute that. That's another reason why he tried to take advantage. They tried to do what they did in front of the 604 entrance when I went there. But at the same time, because of the way that they think, they had somebody next to him. He had somebody next to him. So I don't know if he solely did that as himself because he recognized me and they knew what was sourcing around them. I know some Jamaican women, when I'm on the bus and things of that nature, that nothing is applicable to what they're trying to incite, because these people all participated in suffering me, and they know about it. From working people, from the medical placement, everything. They willfully did all of this stuff. In cordial aspects, just like emulating assembly, literally. So they assembled to do these things. That's why you have Tyrese, the singer, boasting and thinking that he can suffer me also and my child. But MTA bus, especially when they kept on it, they tempered it to make sure my heart did that. So it's recorded on the MTA bus. And so the MTA workers started allowing the Russians to show on camera what they were doing to me. A few times that I rode the 49 bus, aside from what I posted already that they were doing. And it's shown even them inducing my body and shock, them understanding or whatever what they're doing. So the Cold War aspects, more so emulating it, more so in form, where it's noticeable to understand is purposeful of placing the body in shock. So more so with police and counterterrorism, they source some of those implementations in it. So this is another reason why they're trying to intimidate the Arabs in the store, because they think they have some type of intellectual balance towards them. So this is the reason why. And I'm gonna be frank, that when you have women in my own heart, and everybody has learned from us in our lives, and you suffered my brain to try to compartmentalize my own heart, because you've been suffered your identity and you found safety in it, but then you suffer me. And I'm speaking about Strange Luke, the one that spoke, Michael R. Jackson's brother, that you spoke, you admitted right before my eyes that and then you sourced it for that man to suffer me. That's not teaching me that that's the way that you're treated, and giving me a course by what Trevor would have, as far as my rapes and things of that nature. Then you sourced it for it to be safe for my grieving. So that's nothing that you should have done at all. Nothing. That's for me to share with my husband, for my husband to give me healing, not to The way that I intellectually looked at that was that I've been through so much. Watching porn doesn't do anything of the such in that area. And if you look for explanation or whatever, it doesn't grieve you, if you will. Such as manners as that doesn't grieve you. And if you're looking for an escape of something to emulate something because you see with RuPaul and then the child loosely on the hand and things of that nature, do you understand that the looseness was for finally when I got to the point that the president had the Secret Service loosened? Do you think that government officials, they would not be involved if I was a federal criminal? Because technically I would be a federal criminal if, since I'm Barack Obama's daughter. So I actually would be a federal criminal. So I'll automatically be in a placement of, I'll even have even more honor over Tito Joe Jackson though. But I would still be a criminal, a federal criminal. That's what I would be. You know what I mean? It's so crazy. It's like playfulness. Do you think that yearning, is that what you think? That's the reason why you said it. So this is what you do to women. You castrate women. And you're raped yourself. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. And then you use the aspect of the dude there to see what that meant. Now, compared to everything you did there and the glitter, I mean, you have Mariah Carey, you have all that. Trevor didn't set anybody up. You told the truth about why you made the play. You had the living play right in your audience. And I paid for the seat, too. So fucked up. I guess I'm not Shaka Khan, right? It's so crazy. You want to know something else, too? Is that these older people like Sheryl Lee Ralph and Broadway and all this other stuff like that, Mr. Harney, they were directly involved in sourcing my grandmother. They were the kids of my grandfather's and grandmother's time. Literally. They were the kids that of Friends. Broadway people were the kids of Friends that they had. And it's so crazy. They keep on suffering me with implementation of sexual exploit. But you made sure that you even got your healing, understanding my own heart, but you sought to thwart my own heart. How is it possible that a rapist, right, would bring you healing from your own sexual abuse? You know it's true. It is definitely love. And you're shaky because you're like, okay, well, maybe take it in the church way. We find some way to get angry at her. Oh no, the flower thing. You indicating, telling the truth, and then the flower thing, she walked by. You know what all that stuff means? It's so crazy. I mean, it was witnessed before everybody. It really was. People who paid a whole bunch of money for it. And I just walked away from Trevor. And Trevor saved my dignity after after you said playful and you had me to throw the lighter on the stage at his feet, and he got scared for my child's life at that moment. But you knew that would happen, so you set us up to be killed. That's what you did. Did you know that? Did you know that? Michael R. Jackson and Michael R. Jackson's brother. I wonder if you know that. That's why Steve Martin and Martin Short are on the show like that. The beauty about that is that there's no hate in that, because that's actually the way they think as Jewish people. They think that way. So that's their being, actually. So you see the difference. But when they showed the aspect of their own anger or wrath because of what they've been through, and that's not even a negative connotation. They tell the truth about stuff. But then you hear the gap. Only intimacy will understand that. Only the intimacy. That's why you have Howie Mandel when he sourced on the stage, and he gave me the understanding, but they're trying to implement all these things and stuff like that for everybody's nature and culture. Be. See, my father just opened up my heart for your manifestation of your own heart, and y'all still seeking to kill me. He did it intentionally. I like my facial features now. It's necessary when you know what you're doing in counterterrorism. Somebody doesn't give you a face. he's maintaining my facial structure. It's not mirroring. I guess that's the reason why the Russians thought that they can take that on. You don't date that. And I was exactly right. They don't know what they're doing. It's so fucked up. I'm about to cry. Oh, it's so fucked up. And it's crazy that, like, under all this, under my face healing will be my own countenance, but it will be the glee of my husband. That's what it'll be. It will be the glory. My crown will be my husband. It won't be my boobs. Let's see. So this lighter here, I threw at Trevor's feet. My hand understanding sound, when I tossed it on that same stage, and this is the reason why Syncopated Ladies, why James Corden had Syncopated Ladies there on, and indicating that Beyonce is trying to kill my child through the Jamaicans. That's why Syncopated Ladies was on the Late Late Show. And James Corden is working with the presidency, the current presidency, on our behalf, my child and myself and my family. They're all the way in LA. Hey. But see, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And life and death lie in the power of the tongue. You tell me which one I am. Scared? Maybe. What is it? See, that right there, that's not actually, that's the squealing. Now I can make it, that's the leftover squealing. I'm having agony while speaking right now. That's what's going on. That has nothing to do with the pumping. See, they distorted and mutilated my body so much. That has nothing to do with my heart about to start pulsing in call and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with that. But see, that's what's left over of my emulating through the suffering of my eardrums. That was Beyonce's specialty. So they won't hear my agony. So I'll numb more than my agony. But what you heard just now, and you heard the separation, only because one side is, like that. But what you heard was this screeching, and I got it right now. All I had to do was identify what was going on with my body. But the screeching of pain, it's not childbirth. That's the unfortunate thing that Elise freed when she took me into the water. But I think she was trying to tell me that was the only way she knew how, by being mean because of what she was adjusted to and used to doing. But she got to know me and couldn't believe. But then she asked me all these questions and she couldn't believe how my heart was the way it was. But she still set me up to die at the same time. And it's all over Clubhouse. With doctors and everything like that. But then she did say she was there to support and be a friend. And Trevor reminded me that that's how he thinks about the correspondence at the Daily Show. And the whole Daily Show, period. And people that come on the stage, and he let them know that he let me know he was correct, and that's why he said, this is my friend, and the last person that's on the Daily Show. And he said it in slickness, and then, he placed Jordan Klepper in the aspect of Klepper. That's the only way I can say it. But yeah, Francis Jackson, all that other stuff, they can screw each other. Hey, but with that and things of that nature, he really means that. That's the only thing he means. So he'll consort to anything that such he did with my child. But, that's just a gesture right there. But at the same time, so with that, and I forget what I was going to say, but with Jordan Klepper, so that's why he brought him out to show that this is the mannerism of his emotion, that he's become hardened so much. He suffered his own self so much so that he can emulate some type of consciousness. That's impossible to do. But he showed me what another tangible serial killer is. It gave me the indication of, and he's been carrying my heart out more so in intimacy by me singing in French. But again, I forgot to say in other live, all the songs they set up for death and stuff like that. So they indicated to them that, so it wasn't the opposite. So what everybody was doing was all the songs that I was giving as repertoire. And Cheryl Pepsi Riley and Tyler Perry, I forgot about that. So Cheryl Pepsi Riley, she said, you got to build a repertoire. It was intentional for Cheryl Pepsi Riley to kill me. So, hey, she knew, especially while I was watching her lives, and she had everybody start scrambling me by her influence that she had. That's the actual truth about it. So when I was going to the Sugar Bar and coming from Jersey and all that other stuff like that, they knew who I was. And then my cousin with Tyler Perry. So Tyler Perry employed my cousin to try to kill him. You know, so they trying to emulate the same thing with my child. So Trevor, Barack, and Mish. But this is more so my war core exasperated. You know, it's a little thickness in this area and stuff like that. There's nothing I can do about it right now. But I got the blessing of speaking. They know that I know how to maintain my own body and things of that nature. This is going to be an issue with this dude up here. Because this whole side of my brain has... how can I say... it's loosening. And so as a result of it loosening, it's like slowly, it's like melting ice. That's the way it feels, depleting down my face and stuff like that. And so also the guy in the front at the 604 entrance attempted to tilt his body in a certain way to attempt to make my intimacy feel like a smack from what they did in the sanctuary there in A.R. Bernard's church. More so me getting smacked in the face by them incapacitating me. And after, you know, this, why they raped me, you know, Howie Mandel told me this is the reason why they raped me. So he showed the example with Jennifer Hudson's, more so with my child, but why they do this and why they despise shit that happens like that from them as Black women. And so in that placement or whatever the case may be, he showed that this is the reason why Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson, you know, and the same reason why, what is her name? That's why Jennifer Hudson wore the red and things of that nature for, the yoga woman. Janelle Monáe, why she went on the show and stuff like that on, Jimmy Kimmel's show, and placed the aspects of emotional tensions like that, you know. She can care less. She made her placement or whatever the case may be, you know, on stage when she leaned like that, you know, like Michael Jackson and things of that nature. So she's down with everything. So everything that Tito Joe Jackson is doing, that's what they're doing. So, you know, they implemented it, you know, their little childish ways of dancing and things of that nature, that they get jealous of it, you know, but anyway, so I got raped and things of that nature because the mindset, the more so that they implement, more so that she tried to flutter and flash. And then I know that Howie Mandel has influence in the entertainment industry to place people in it, the industry, or whatever the case may be. So he gave a blessing. We're already married, so I'm just waiting to see what exactly is going on. He said, I am going to change it more so with, indicating, I think he was trying to cover to forgive Stephen Colbert, more so Sasha Kimiatek, but he placed it there to try to cover those aspects so it will stop, to show them to, when you move your hands and stuff, don't indicate anything near your body or whatever the case may be. And the vice president already made the placement of it. And she knew that I will emotionally connect because that's why she placed it there like that. They did that in aspects of war. And this is the reason why I was able to communicate with the president and the vice president yesterday, because they understood that I knew that. They knew that Marvel was itching to understand those aspects. So when I was in California, but her going on the show, doing the things she did, stood over with her breast here to see if I will respond in response when somebody challenges me in that placement. If it really was in the placement of who I am. I'm African. Do I need somebody to prepare me for rape to do so? Because that's what she did.
Does that give Lupita Nyong'o confidence? You reap what you sow. So I'm glad you came in the show and did what you did, because all things work for the good of those who love God and are called according to his glory. Do you know what a man's glory is? Their being, their heart. Glory, glory, hallelujah. But other than that, what was the other placement that I was going to place? I forget here because they're clanging in the hallway. That's what they're doing. My body has never suffered this much ever in my life. And I'm 38. My daughter's 20. So it's 58 years. Did you see my eyes rolling? Do you know another reason why oh, yes. So, but do you know another reason why? And stuff like that, that my eyes are going like this? It shows the softness of my brain behind the nerve endings. Did you know that I felt a nerve ending depart from my eye socket inside of my eye? Like literally, that placement of the eye, and when you know anatomy, you see the anatomy of the eye inside the wall, I felt a nerve ending, literally, especially because I was so sensitive to everything that was going on in my body, being acutely tortured. But that's just what happened. But she prepared it for that. So with it and stuff like that, they're not working with the presidency. Wakanda Forever is not working with the presidency at all. They never were and they never will be, because of what they represent. And that's why they're looking for a placement of it. Aside from that she knew that they put that placement there, they did that in aspects of war, because what was actually happening is that actual acute war with the whole country towards me and my child and my family, literally. So when they placed the placement with the music, and they were carefully placing the music or the small sounding or whatever the case may be, and when that happened, the dude in the white, I don't know how to explain that at the White House conference. And so, more so, that what I can explain, unfortunately, and then my father chose the aspects of, he didn't choose it. He placed it there to carry out because of what was done. That's why he needed to work, showed where he worked together with Joe Biden with BDE, where they got agreement. And so what they did at the White House conference, he did what he did, and in the placement that does bring out, or whatever the case may be, those men that actually act on those things, that would be more worse in what they were doing, unfortunately. But when you have men of war, I mean, it all worked together, but my father was showing me his heart. But more so when you see Kamala Harris, that's the reason why I understood just basically that placement of it when the president, but he showed me his real character when they were there and they did a type of assembly and everything. Everybody was placing an emotional placement. And then the young lady with the flowing dress, they knew that I love flowing dresses and things like that. My grandmother, for instance. So they know that will appeal to my heart. So, and that was a just application of it. That's a safe place. So going across the stage and then they deliberately went across the stage, and then spotlight that's already placed. So she went across the stage with the flowing dress, and then when the president walked in, then he touched the back of her back here. And so this is why LGBTQ, when we got to this area, didn't happen as such. So POTUS and VP, I do want your help. And I thank you for responding. I thank you for answering my video. I know that there's context to everything. I do want your help so Trevor and I can be together and we can be a complete family with my own living child. and I asked that I put under Michael R. Jackson's brother's page to meet with him today or tomorrow. They said that Strange Loop, the end of it is December 11th. I hope that they know that there's no way that they can remove themselves from explaining that it's specifically about me. He placed the context of everything there on his page and in video, and I have it recorded while they're staring at me, and he's placing the understanding of it. You know, they can try to say Kiki this and Kiki that, everything balanced out. So it has nothing to do with it at all. So they can't say Kiki is the one that was staring inside the thing. That was the sole motive of those other people visiting there, you know. So, I mean, Vanity Reynolds with the thing, you know, half there, you know, you know, Jamal Bernard. That's another Jamal Bernard. So I'm thirsty and I'm hungry. I drank juice and I couldn't even enjoy it. My tongue has numbed so much. I had some soup, and that my nerve endings, none of them, they're it went from clustered to I don't know if my cells are, it might be just dead cells and stuff. Just the same thing with my legs and around my legs and stuff like that. Then, you know, the dead cells or whatever the case may be, the blood, because it pushes through the body, so it settles in the most sensitive areas or whatever the case may be. So this is another reason why when shock condition and the body's in shock, then the blood more so would do that. And this is why Kit McKean placed the aspect of cancer, that he thinks he's giving me cancer. He's giving me cancer. There's no such thing as cancer. It's literally a blood clot, a blood vessel, a blood clot. That's all cancer is. It's a blood clot. And all you have to do is to move that area. You don't even have to remove a cancer cell. You know, it's the aspect. This is why they inducted the logic of getting paid for your body to have testing on it, because they realized the error in their ways to try to go fix the consciousness. You can't do stuff like that. You really, truly can't. I've given them how to healthily fix over all my lives. It's all medical advice, and I didn't go to school for it. It's medical advice that people learn in universities, and in my own heart and mind, because of what the full aspects of what everybody needs for doctors. And this is what Will and Jada think that they're trying to take over. They don't, and so then they suffer my body to say, well, she's not going to be able to teach anything. She's not going to do all this. We have the information. They can't teach anything. Their hearts don't desire to do so. Intelligence comes from a man's own passion. How about that shit? And that's the total truth. It can be worded differently, but it's the truth. And it's so crazy because it's like the dude having a conversation with him, he tried to shock condition that area when asking me why like that, because he's mad that, you know, he's developed a personality like the dude there. That's the reason, another reason why they sent the dude outside, what he did in the front and things of that nature. That's sick. You know, did you know that? It's really sick. It's really sick. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what to do. I'm here in this home. My daughter, I spoke to her this morning, and my daughter's trying to show me affection, and they suffer her brain, and she's trying to show me affection. She's trying to tell me that she loves me in the best way that she can, and she's calmed down enough to speak to me, and she's trying to, you know, say she wants to spend time with me, but this is the only way that she knows how to. And I'm afraid of suffering her brain, and my brain is in shock with that, so I can't even respond to her in telekinesis. They made sure that over the phone with Apple and all that other stuff like that, all that stuff is recorded. From the technological terrorism and interfering in my phone, them knowing, then they knew specifically. The dude, Michael R. Jackson's brother, understood. He understood the specifics of what happened in Crown Heights when I went shopping with my mother. He made sure that he said your mother, and emphasis on your mother. You know what I mean? So he made it personal. You know, so it's so crazy. And then this is what they were trying to find out in front of the 604 entrance. So I guess that's the way that they're going to have agreement with the LGBTQ community. But I'm twinning with my hate. Really. That's really dumb. Be honest. Oh, look, my face has formed the correct way of what's going on with my brain. So my cheek lowered like this shows the area of what's going on here. Everything else, my face is more so responding to this area of my brain, because this has become the most, how can I say, my hearing, I can hear on this side, but the way they induced everything in shock, they were just in my hallway. And plus, they're banging at certain intervals on purpose when they go sweep in the hallway. So they'll leave out for a few and then go back. So he does it as a routine. So they were waking me up in the morning and things of that nature on purpose. They were trying to be an alarm for me. Oh, did you know that at the place over there, the hospital, I think I placed it on the live already. I said, do you worry? So right when I got tortured, they were suffering me. An innocent person that I didn't know that Trevor was pursuing me at all from the ICC, everything. But they made sure to tell me in that way of hate. They hated me. They hated Trevor too. But it's so crazy. They knew me, but they hated me. They knew Trevor, but they hated Trevor. But it was totally the opposite with it. Because Trevor didn't share the part that I shared with people. And it had nothing to do with sex. It was my whole heart. Interrogated. My whole interrogated heart. That's a new catchphrase. Jimmy Fallon, I want you to say that. Say my whole interrogated heart. Quote this live. Let's see here. Trevor, Barack, and Mish. This is for you. It's 12:16 p.m. And so Jimmy Fallon, let me indicate this for you. Now, when you quote that, understand that means that you're admitting to what you've done. This is your admittance. If you need to admit something, this here, and I'm going to tag Trevor, Barack, and Mish in this, you are saying that you've done what you've done in this neighborhood. Now, as far as specifics and all this other stuff like that, anything that's placed, but you're identifying what you've done to me and my child. That's what you're doing. So quote that on your next show, and that'll be that. But you got to stop what you're doing. Maybe I can tell you that. I don't know. Maybe somewhat. You know? I mean, if you're looking for it to be a conversation like Trevor and stuff like that, it'll be the suffering of my body and things of that nature. You know, you can try to emulate certain things, but just know that you reap everything that you sow. I said that to the dude in the front, too. Of the 604 entrance. Oh, again, like remember, do you had the person there to challenge you on purpose? Because you didn't believe that I actually would have a man reap what they sow. But from what rape and murder, incest, things of that nature that you've done, you know, it's nothing to have somebody it's from Guatemala, from a Guatemalan prison, to go and ravage another man. That's not unjust when you apply it in the application that it needs to. Because it'll stop a mass deterioration of people suffering others the same. So 12:18 p.m. and it's November December 9th, 2022.